This is the painful fear that narcissists feel about your silence. The profound fear that grips narcissists in the face of your silence cannot be overstated. What does it signal to them? From where I stand, it appears to be a potent strategy for effectively extricating them from your life, should that be your objective. If your goal is to truly liberate yourself from the narcissist's grip and break free from the anguish, turmoil, and trauma they inflict upon you, adopting complete silence can prove to be remarkably effective in severing ties with a narcissist once and for all. The power of silence is often underestimated. It's not merely a passive stance. Rather, it emerges as your strongest weapon and a profound act of self-preservation. Let me underscore this. Refusing to engage with a toxic individual is an assertion of your self-worth. I understand it's not always simple, but when achieved, it frequently stands as your most viable recourse. And let's not forget, we're dealing here with individuals exhibiting damaging narcissistic traits. We're confronting energy vampires. That's precisely what you encounter when ensnared in or striving to break free from a relationship with a narcissist. This rings particularly true for empaths lacking robust boundaries. You find yourself utterly drained and exhausted. And you know what? That's entirely understandable. Narcissistic personalities thrive on heightened emotions, drama, turmoil, and all forms of negativity you inadvertently furnish. Your fear, anguish, apprehension, confusion, and discomfort. These are the sustenance upon which they thrive. If they sense they can provoke a reaction from you, you become the perfect prey, an abundant source of narcissistic nourishment. And what ensues is nothing short of a voracious feeding frenzy. Narcissists employ various tactics, subtle or overt, to provoke and incite emotional reactions from you. Why? Simply put, they thrive on that negative emotional energy. They'll go to great lengths to elicit a powerful response from you, devouring your emotional turmoil like a ravenous predator. In essence, your intense emotional reaction serves as their banquet. Once again, they revel in your negative feelings they deliberately instigate with malicious intent. It's akin to malevolent spirits feasting on human suffering and anguish. Let's face it, there's a correlation. Destructive narcissists operate in a similar manner. Individuals who traverse life leaving a trail of turmoil in their wake, whether through direct manipulation or subtle coercion. Their goal is to unsettle you, inflicting harm, discomfort, or profound agony, all while stirring up chaos, trauma, and theatrics. Why? To sap you of your life force. This conduct not only showcases pronounced narcissistic tendencies, but also epitomizes a pattern of destructive narcissism. It underscores their insatiable sense of entitlement and their stark deficiency in empathy. In the realm of interactions with narcissists, silence can be a potent weapon, but not the passive-aggressive kind they often employ. Instead, it's about embracing silence with resolute clarity and conviction. When you choose to remain silent in the face of a narcissist, it's not about playing their game or seeking attention. It's about asserting your boundaries firmly and unequivocally. It's a tough decision, no doubt, but when you do it with unwavering assurance, you send a powerful message. The narcissist holds no sway over you. This kind of silence, infused with strong boundaries, signals to the narcissist that there's no supply to be gained from you. You maintain control over your emotions, your identity, and your actions, refusing to engage in their manipulative games. By depriving them of the emotional and energetic sustenance they crave, you prioritize your own well-being. It's a strategic move, a choice to cut off their lifeblood, your essential life force. As you uphold this silence over time, the narcissist's power wanes. They may struggle initially, but eventually they'll be forced to seek out other sources to satisfy their needs. And in that silence, you find peace, the peace you've been yearning for amidst the chaos of their manipulation and drama. It's a powerful act of self-preservation, reclaiming your autonomy and reclaiming your life. In the complex dance with a narcissist, having the last word rarely matters. Correctness falls on deaf ears, and breaking through their defenses is a futile endeavor. They remain steadfast in their ways, impervious to reason or logic. So if your aim is tranquility, if you yearn for relationships devoid of harm and blame-shifting, silence becomes your ally, paving the swiftest route to peace. It's a seamless fusion of self-care and disruption of toxic cycles, where true transformation takes root. Embracing a strategy of indifference towards narcissists yields potent results. By denying them recognition or significance, you reclaim sovereignty over your life. Your focus shifts to nurturing your well-being, surrounding yourself with stable, empathetic souls who honor your boundaries. Their theatrics lose their grip. You simply disengage. Severing ties blocks emotional manipulation, compelling them to seek alternate prey, and in time, they'll likely drift away. This shift may unfold gradually, with the narcissist testing your resolve, probing for cracks to exploit. Your disinterest must be steadfastly asserted, a repeated mantra until they grasp the futility of their endeavors. Yet, believe me, treating them as inconsequential accelerates your liberation from their clutches. In the end, silence becomes not just a shield, but a beacon guiding you toward freedom from their toxic influence. I've walked the path of breaking free from the trap of people-pleasing and approval-seeking, so I understand the struggle intimately. It's a daunting journey, especially when we seek validation from those incapable of offering genuine love or approval. Individuals who seem to mirror our unresolved wounds and traumas. As empaths, our innate inclination toward kindness, warmth, and empathy often leads us to prioritize others at the expense of ourselves. However, it's imperative to shift our focus inward and prioritize our own well-being above all else. What if we flipped the script and began lavishing ourselves with the love and care we so freely give to others? What if we centered ourselves as the main recipients of our own affection and consideration? This self-nurturing approach becomes even more critical when navigating the treacherous waters of destructive narcissism. Regardless of how empathetic or well-meaning we may be, some individuals simply don't comprehend concepts like kindness, sincerity, authenticity, or courtesy. It's as if we're speaking a foreign language to them. In their world, while spreading love and compassion is laudable, it's essential to acknowledge the limitations when dealing with destructive narcissism. In the realm of narcissistic behavior, acts of kindness, sincerity, or courtesy often go unnoticed or, worse, are exploited for further mistreatment. Let's face it, relying solely on kindness won't magically rid your life of narcissists. If you think being kind will magically solve the problem of dealing with a destructive narcissist, you're in for a rude awakening. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than any words, serving as a potent tool to assert your boundaries and distance yourself from their toxic influence. Despite their outward charm, narcissists lack genuine depth and authority. Don't let their facade deceive you. Beneath it lies an emptiness. Interactions with narcissists often revolve around power struggles and manipulation, whether overt or subtle. They'll twist perceptions and narratives to serve their own agenda, spreading lies and turning others against you. When dealing with narcissists, it's crucial to be discerning about whose words you trust, as they may be the ones stirring up conflict and spreading falsehoods. Stay vigilant and prioritize your own well-being over trying to reason with people who lack empathy or understanding. Focus on managing what you can control and invest in self-care. Don't waste too much time and energy trying to prove your worth or defend your truth to others. Those who truly know and care about you will see through the lies and stand by your side. When someone embraces a negative narrative about you, don't let it shake your core. Embracing your healing journey can armor you against such challenges. Though the path may be rocky, it signifies profound personal growth. While it may sting to see others buy into false portrayals of you, remember, sometimes silence speaks louder than words. When faced with a narcissist's smear campaign, choosing silence denies them the ammunition they seek to control you. Narcissists thrive on dominance and will resort to lies to maintain it. Despite the expected onslaught of falsehoods, focus on what you can control and prioritize your self-care as you journey towards a brighter future. Your presence in our discussions means the world to us. Your engagement is invaluable. By joining our community for just $1, you gain access to exclusive benefits and help us expand our content. Your support is essential in maintaining our standards and exploring new horizons. Thank you for being an indispensable part of our audience and for your priceless contributions. If you do this to a narcissist, they will feel deep pain and will commit suicide. Hey there, lovely folks. Welcome back to our video. Today, we're delving deep into the fascinating world of what happens when a narcissist faces rejection. We'll explore why thwarting a Hoover maneuver can be a powerful strategy for breaking free from narcissistic manipulation. Ultimately, the key to breaking the cycle of abuse lies in your choice and your ability to disregard a narcissist's relentless pursuit. Much like the Hoover vacuum cleaner, narcissists exert considerable effort to draw their victims back into their sphere of influence. However, when their attempts to hoover are rebuffed, it often triggers heightened aggression in their gaslighting tactics, bruising their fragile ego and fueling their narcissistic rage. The more steadfast you are in establishing and upholding firm boundaries, the better you can safeguard your self-respect and embark on a journey of healing from the abuse. Despite their persistent efforts at hoovering, narcissists will eventually relent if they repeatedly face rejection. Each attempt at hoovering is meticulously crafted to manipulate you into compliance with their desires. The concept of a narcissistic void suggests that individuals with narcissistic personality disorder experience a profound sense of emptiness and lack of authentic identity. They rely on a steady stream of narcissistic supply to fill this void and validate their inflated sense of self-worth. Therefore, even after you've severed ties or established clear boundaries, hoovering serves as a means for them to assert dominance and reaffirm their perceived control. Regrettably, the narcissist bent on hoovering often perceives their deceitful conduct as acceptable, even encouraged. You may find yourself hesitating to confront the aftermath of rejecting them. Perhaps you fear exacerbating the situation or subjecting yourself to further physical or emotional abuse. Yet, ignoring these persistent hoovering behaviors is paramount for extricating yourself from an abusive relationship and prioritizing your well-being. It's important to recognize that rebuffing a narcissist's bid for dominance won't immediately garner their respect or concern for your welfare. Narcissists typically don't handle rejection well, regardless of its necessity. Whether the rejection is genuine or merely perceived, narcissists may exhibit the following behaviors when their attempts at hoovering fall short. 1. Persistent hoovering. Upon your initial rejection of a narcissist's advances, expect them to persist in their efforts. They don't truly honor your decision. Rather, they anticipate your eventual capitulation to their demands. However, if they sense your resolve in ignoring their tactics, they may escalate and alter their hoovering tactics. Unfortunately, if there's a history of on-again, off-again dynamics, this only reinforces their stalking behaviors. 2. A torrent of apologies. Some narcissists inundate their victims with apologies as part of their hoovering strategy. They may utter phrases like, "I deeply regret causing you pain," attempting to convey sincerity. They might promise, "I'll never do it again. Please just talk to me." Alternatively, they might show a semblance of accountability with statements such as, "I acknowledge my frequent outbursts. I realize I need to manage my anger better. I'm sorry, it won't happen again." Enduring these apologies in the midst of a toxic relationship can be immensely challenging. However, it's crucial to remember that actions speak louder than words. While narcissists may articulate remorse, their past conduct is the true indicator. Do you genuinely believe they will rein in their narcissistic tendencies? Can you trust them to foster kindness, tranquility, and empathy in the future? 3. Disregarding your rejection. Narcissists may adopt a facade of indifference when confronted with rejection. Even if you've distanced yourself, they'll feign ignorance, gaslighting you into believing your rejection never occurred. This tactic aims to portray them as unruffled and unaffected, as if your actions hold no sway over them. They aim to diminish the significance of your boundaries, making you question your own perception. In practice, this manifests as continued communication from them, as if the rejection never transpired. They might increase their efforts to contact you, attempting to maintain the illusion of normalcy. Their persistent pursuit highlights their inability to respect your boundaries, revealing their manipulative nature. 4. The narcissistic storm of fury. As you continue to evade a narcissist, the likelihood of their anger boiling over increases. Narcissists crave control in every aspect of their relationships. Thus, even a hint that someone else might be establishing healthy boundaries can deeply unsettle them, triggering intense reactions. Narcissistic rage can manifest in various forms, ranging from explosive outbursts to calculated, insidious maneuvers. It might be a sudden eruption of violent tantrums, or a sustained campaign of subtle manipulation aimed at undermining your self-esteem and confidence. However, it's crucial to understand that this rage isn't merely about expressing frustration. Instead, it serves as a manipulative tool, a meticulously orchestrated performance designed to intimidate and unsettle others. Weaponizing their anger, they aim to keep you off kilter and perpetually anxious. The narcissist desires to instill guilt within you for disregarding their seemingly benevolent gestures. Their sole objective is to provoke a reaction from you, and they'll employ any means necessary to achieve it. Through these tactics, they seek to regain the upper hand and ensnare you further in their toxic web of deceit. 5. Appeasing your desires, manipulating your heart. In desperate bids to salvage a crumbling relationship, narcissists may resort to dramatic gestures. They might unexpectedly appear at your doorstep with an engagement ring, despite vehemently opposing marriage in the past. Alternatively, they could send a photo from a therapist's office, feigning a newfound willingness to seek help after months or even years of resistance. For those emotionally invested, these grandiose displays of change can be incredibly tempting to believe. However, it's vital to recognize that these acts are often veiled forms of love bombing, designed to lure you back into their sphere of influence. 6. Tarnishing your image. When feeling sidelined, some narcissists retaliate by tarnishing your reputation to garner sympathy and attention for themselves. They strive to portray themselves as the virtuous one, while painting you as the villain in the narrative of the relationship. This smear campaign may involve spreading falsehoods or twisting your truths against you. Vulnerabilities shared in confidence could be exploited, such as citing your parental anxieties to discredit you, suggesting you weren't truly committed to parenting. It's a heartbreaking manipulation tactic aimed at sowing doubt and discord, all while positioning themselves as the savior figure for your children. 7. Shifting the blame onto you. When faced with rejection, narcissists often resort to avoidance and projection. Unable to fathom a legitimate reason for your refusal to engage, they twist the narrative to paint you as the villain. Through their distorted lens, you're the heartless one, indifferent and unwilling to salvage the relationship. Suddenly, you're the scapegoat for all their woes. Recognize this tactic for what it is: a cunning ploy to divert attention away from their own shortcomings. By shifting the blame onto you, they evade accountability and preserve their inflated ego. 8. Swiftly jumping into another relationship. Narcissists crave constant attention and validation, known as narcissistic supply. Instead of persistently attempting to reel you back in, they may channel their energy into swiftly moving on. This behavior is why narcissists often boast a history of rapid, intense relationships. They despise solitude and perpetually seek someone to fulfill their insatiable need for admiration. Moreover, they hope that flaunting their new relationship will provoke jealousy in you. While it may be hurtful and bewildering to witness their rapid rebound, remember that it's a reflection of their inability to foster genuine, mutually respectful connections. They are only interested in satisfying their own desires. 9. Resorting to gifts as a last-ditch effort. In a last-ditch effort to cope with rejection, some narcissists may resort to giving gifts. These offerings can carry various meanings. They might signify remorse, a purported change in behavior, or simply a desperate bid to regain your attention. It's akin to a form of love bombing, where the narcissist inundates you with affection and material possessions in an attempt to manipulate your emotions. Interestingly, these lavish gifts often surface during tumultuous periods in the relationship. There's a deliberate motive behind this gesture. The narcissist employs these gifts as a distraction, diverting attention away from the underlying issues plaguing the relationship. It's imperative to recognize this tactic for what it is: an ostentatious display that fails to address the fundamental problems at the core of the relationship. 10. Self-destructive behaviors. Occasionally, when faced with rejection, narcissists may engage in self-destructive behaviors that harm themselves. For instance, covert or vulnerable narcissists may resort to self-harm or even contemplate suicide when they feel spurned. Such responses are deeply concerning and warrant immediate professional intervention. In an attempt to cope with their emotional anguish, some narcissists may resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, disordered eating patterns, gambling addiction, or other detrimental habits. This behavior often serves as a desperate plea for attention and assistance, underscoring the critical importance of seeking professional help and support. 11. Orchestrating dramatic crises and continuous emergencies. A telltale sign of narcissistic hoovering is the perpetual involvement in dramatic crises. You might receive distressing messages about a sudden medical emergency, a gravely ill family member, escalating despair, or the impending demise of a cherished pet, accompanied by a request for your emotional support or presence. Dealing with these fabricated scenarios can be particularly challenging. The narcissist relies on your inherent compassion and concern for their well-being, leveraging your empathy as a means to maintain contact and manipulate your emotions. 12. Perpetuating the victim role. Even in the absence of direct communication, narcissists often persist in portraying themselves as victims when questioned about the breakup. If they still have avenues to reach your family or mutual acquaintances, They seize every opportunity to malign your character while exalting their own innocence and virtue. Coping with the narcissist's persistent hoovering attempts can be emotionally taxing and intricate. Understanding their tactics can empower you to safeguard your mental well-being and resist their manipulative grasp. Remember, prioritizing your mental and emotional health is paramount, and resisting their efforts to ensnare you in their web of manipulation is essential. I trust this video provided valuable insights into narcissistic behavior and strategies employed upon facing rejection. If you found the information informative or engaging, please remember to like, comment, and share this video with others who may benefit. Additionally, don't forget to subscribe for more compelling content. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for your assistance. When you are silent and no longer attracted to the narcissist, this is what will happen to the narcissist every day. In the intricate dance of emotions, narcissists tiptoe on the precipice, viewing feelings as a perilous weakness and potential threat. Their parental landscape, barren of encouragement in their formative years, morphs into a struggle to articulate emotions as adults. The conviction that strength is the currency for respect surrounds them, for what could be more dreadful than the absence of admiration and regard? A warm invitation echoes through the corridors of understanding. Welcome to this cinematic exploration, tailor-made for those intrigued by the enigma of narcissism. In today's feature presentation, we delve into the mystique of silence, distinguishing between administering the silent treatment to a narcissist and finding yourself on the receiving end. We, unlike our narcissistic counterparts, do not shroud ourselves in silence to manipulate affection or attention. Unraveling the art of effectively employing the silent treatment on a narcissist, we venture into the realm of speculation on the responses one might anticipate when words cease to flow. In the vast tapestry of existence, narcissists weave their threads ubiquitously, presenting a formidable challenge to those seeking to steer clear. Understanding the art of evading collaboration with these enigmatic beings becomes invaluable, recognizing that not every contract extended by a narcissist is a pact worth signing. To shield oneself from the emotional tumult orchestrated by a narcissist, one must summon the courage to stand tall, resisting the urge to respond to their advances or betray any inkling of concern. Our version of radio silence diverges markedly from the narcissistic playbook. A narcissist might wield this tactic as a weapon, a means to punish and dominate those in their sphere. When confronted with rejection, criticism, or any form of challenge, the narcissist retreats into silence, a shield against the storm of accountability, plotting their next move or securing their supply. In this intricate narrative of human dynamics, the silent interplay unfolds, revealing the divergent paths of those who wield silence as a weapon and those who embrace it as a shield. In the mysterious realm of the narcissist's sudden silence, a foreboding plot unfolds, and its intentions are rarely benevolent. When the narcissist opts for silence, it's not a mere pause, but a malevolent act designed to inflict harm. Their quiet reverberates with meanness, cruelty, and an underlying current of ill will. Yet, paradoxically, our response is not rooted in malice, but in a desperate quest for self-preservation, a strategic retreat into silence, the art of going grey rock, or any other measure that shields us from the emotional tempest conjured by the narcissistic storm. Trusting the narcissist proves a colossal misstep, a realization etched in the tapestry of our experiences. The dance with narcissists is fraught with peril, a delicate tightrope walk that demands caution and resilience. Anticipating the narcissist's attempt to test the limits, we brace ourselves for a barrage of words and actions aimed at unsettling our emotional equilibrium. Simultaneously, we must remain vigilant, recognizing the narcissist's potential to accuse us of mental abuse and neglect should we choose silence as our shield against their machinations. In their twisted narrative, our silence morphs into intentional deception, a deliberate act of betrayal. The truth, however, is that narcissists lie indiscriminately, weaving a fabric of deceit in every interaction. Another facet of the intricate dance with narcissists lies in their reluctance to swallow their own bitter medicine. As we maintain our silence, the narcissist, bewildered and fretful, grapples with the discomfort of our non-response. Our refusal to cater to their emotional needs exacerbates their predicament. In this intricate choreography, silence emerges as our most potent weapon, a shield that denies them control, for they can only manipulate us when we willingly expose our true thoughts and feelings. In this enigmatic theatre of the mind, the silence we wield becomes our art, a means of self-defense against the narcissist's calculated attempts to hurt and control. Paradoxically, we become the supposed villains when we, too, employ silence to safeguard our well-being. In the realm of silence, we wield a shield against the desires of narcissists, thwarting their attempts to manipulate and control. No power play is at work here. It's a strategic retreat for the preservation of safety, the paramount concern that eclipses all else. Self-care emerges as the guiding principle, an unwavering commitment that should not be compromised, especially in the face of a narcissist's attempts to instill guilt. The art of ignoring a narcissist is a nuanced dance, distinct from embodying narcissistic traits, no matter the labels they may fling our way. Silence, when employed, is not always an act of personal harm. Rather, it becomes a fortress against the narcissist's attempts to weave their manipulative web. It's the most effective means to reclaim control and halt their incessant attempts to intrude upon our emotional landscape. In the intricate dance with narcissists, ignoring becomes a potent tool to curtail their influence and cease their persistent interference. Refusing to grant them access to our thoughts and feelings denies them the emotional reactions they crave. Allowing a narcissist into our lives exposes us to the mind games they play, draining our mental and emotional reservoirs. By resisting their attempts to elicit emotional responses or understanding, we force them to seek alternate paths, diminishing their ability to manipulate our thoughts and feelings. In the face of name-calling and hurtful remarks designed to tarnish our reputation, the strategy is clear: give them nothing. Expect their attempts to incite a reaction, but stand firm in the commitment to avoid being drawn into their toxic drama. Narcissists, surprisingly, are more repelled by those who actively avoid them, an outcome that aligns perfectly with our goal of distancing ourselves from their harmful influence. If the tactic of the cold shoulder or grey rocking proves effective in silencing their chatter, so be it. Our mental and emotional energy is too precious to squander on those who seek only to drain us. It's a proactive stance to safeguard ourselves from the myriad ways in which narcissists can inflict harm if left unchecked. Empowerment lies in our hands to proactively thwart any attempts by them to disrupt our path once more. My earnest desire is to advocate for everyone to take decisive steps to distance themselves from narcissists. It's crucial to recognize that the influence of narcissists only extends as far as we allow ourselves to be emotionally entangled with them. Maintaining a calm demeanor when navigating interactions with narcissists is paramount, as their modus operandi thrives on seizing control if given the opportunity. That concludes our discourse for today. I trust you've gleaned valuable insights from our discussion. Feel free to share your thoughts by leaving a comment below. Your viewership is deeply appreciated, and I hope you take away something meaningful from this cinematic exploration. This is the painful fear that narcissists feel about your silence. The profound fear that grips narcissists in the face of your silence cannot be overstated. What does it signal to them? From where I stand, it appears to be a potent strategy for effectively extricating them from your life, should that be your objective. If your goal is to truly liberate yourself from the narcissist's grip and break free from the anguish, turmoil, and trauma they inflict upon you, adopting complete silence can prove to be remarkably effective in severing ties with a narcissist once and for all. The power of silence is often underestimated. It's not merely a passive stance. Rather, it emerges as your strongest weapon and a profound act of self-preservation. Let me underscore this.